So my name is Sheetal Dube and I recently founded a startup called AudioName.com. What AudioName really does or aims to do is it it makes pronouncing a name easier. And what that really is, like people like me who have a difficult to pronounce name, like Sheetal it's a very common Indian name, but it's difficult to pronounce for people who've not heard of it. For someone like me, I can just record my name and I can attach it to my say email signature, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, so that people who are who I interact with have a chance to hear my name before they meet me, so that it's not so unfamiliar and people feel more relaxed and comfortable when they're talking to me. I've been a user experience consultant for 14 years, and the reason why I got so excited about being a user experience consultant is like I used to be intimidated by technology, and I said, but I realized like technology could be really powerful, and and this is really going back in late 80s and 90s where email was still coming up, and I was like, oh, this is so cool and so powerful, and I can search universities. And so I really was realizing the power of technology, and I really wanted a way to start building technology products that could really help people in everyday life. So as a user experience consultant, I thought that I was getting removed from that, and I was not really building products that I could directly impact people with. So I was still at a stage where I was wondering, how do I do a startup? I have these ideas, how do I take it to market? And still struggling with all of that. Where then I came across Women 2.0. This is a 5-week incubator, pre-startup incubator program in San Francisco, and they do a wonderful job of really taking you through the whole lean startup principles and whole customer development. And they have like a nice 5-week program where they take you through that. And late March is when Startup Weekend happened. That was just about 2 months back, I think. And so I was like, oh, it's so cool. I still have the startup bug, and let me go for Startup Weekend. And that was my first Startup Weekend, actually. I was thinking whether I should do it or not. And I'm very glad that I did it. I think what really kind of stuck with me was like when I heard this is a small idea that could have a big impact. And I think the scale of it and everyone realized how big this problem really is, and just the thought that in some little way, if I could positively impact a lot of people, I think that was really motivated for me. Portland community has been really supportive. In fact, recently when I gave my presentation at Web Visions and the topic was making ideas happen, I think my last 3 slides only talked about the Portland community and how great it is, because I would not have taken this plunge had I not got that kind of support from the judges. I mean, not only did they, encourage me, but pretty openly said that, give us a call, come have coffee. And they had coffee. They all met me later on, and I've been on email with them. And so it's really been very helpful to know that I'm not all alone, and I have some support, and and all of them are like nice established entrepreneurs, so that's very helpful. You're getting validation from people who've done it before, so there are some guides and mentors. So yeah, there are days where I do have, and I've never experienced that. My stomach is in knots, and I'm like, what am I doing? And it can be a high or a low. Like I can get a mail from someone who just heard a pitch and says, oh, I was so impressed with your pitch and I want to help you and all of that, and suddenly something happens and I'm in such a low where things are not working, or I suddenly don't know whether this should be a viral thing or that I should be really marketing it to companies, and I'm like, in that moment my stomach is like in knots, and I don't know, I'm like, I do come out of it, thankfully. I do come out of it, but I'm like, I have to figure it out. I mean, I don't think this is my first and last product. I think this is my first product, definitely, but I definitely want to get into it and figure things out, because I think there is, I don't know, I think I enjoy building stuff, and I think I somehow feel like this is going to give me much more satisfaction to actually build stuff and see how it impacts people. I don't think there's a good time or there's an ideal time. I think if you want to do it, you just do it. If I'd done the same thing one year back, would I have done something differently? I don't know. I think I would have done the same things what I'm doing today. So I think we just keep waiting for this right moment. Maybe there is something in you which says that just do it now, but I think I think just be more aware of that moment and just take the plunge, because even after you take the plunge, you don't know whether you've done the right thing. But you don't know what you don't know, and unless you try it, you'll never know what it is. So I think my only advice would be like, give it a shot. I don't think it's for everybody, and I know for a fact that I have like friends who may not fit into the startup mold, and they would know pretty quickly. I've had people who worked with me and then decided this is not for them, because it is a totally unstructured, confusing thing in the beginning where you're trying to connect the dots, and maybe you'll just figure it out, and maybe that way you've just got it out of your system and you'll never think of it and go on a trek and never think of